I'm going to show you how to calculate one-sided limit. Limit from the left side, limit from the right side. What do I mean by talking about limit one-sided? Let's say I have here some number. For example, let's say take 3. And approaching 3 from the left side, from the negative side, and approaching 3 from the right side, which is positive side. It's getting very close, let's say from negative side, getting very close, but never touches this 3. So we say too small number, very small number, okay, which is going to give us result 3, a tiny bit below 3. And if it's approaching from the right side, right, here we have plus from the right side, it's going to get close to 3, but tiny bit above 3. It's never 3. Never going to be across the number 3. So to explain to you in life, let's say you are walking and on your way it's a big huge hole. So you can step in because you will fall down. But you can approach to the edge, right? So you can step in, but you can approach very, very close, get on the edge of that hole, correct? So it's something like that. So let's do it algebraically. See what we're going to get. Because we say tiny bit above number or tiny bit below number, so it's going to be the number tiny bit above and number tiny bit below the number we are interested to get the limit. So because it's tiny bit, at that tiny bit number, if you round it, you are going to get 0. Let's say 0.0003, whatever, and so on. So if you round, it's going to get 0, right? So we need to find out limit of 7, 6 minus x, x approaches to 6 from the negative side, and then we need to find out the limit 7 over 6 minus x, x approaches to 6 from the positive side, and then limit x 7 over 6 minus x, and x approaches to 6 from both sides. So let's take first one. Limit x approaches to 6 from the left side. It's going to be, we can write down the same thing, limit as x approaches to 6 from minus 0, right? It's going to be, since approaching from negative sign, it's going to be tiny bit below 6, or 6 minus 0. And 0 doesn't have the number, doesn't have the sign, as you know. It just, we're showing direction. It's from the negative side, from the positive side. Okay, it's going to be 7, 6 minus 0, right? It's going to be 7, 6 plus 6, 7, 6 minus 6, and plus 0, because we're opening parentheses and sign is changing the sign, and we are getting 7 over 0, which is going to be positive infinity, since it's 0 from the positive side, right? So 7 divided by unlimited small number, we are getting, but positive number, we are getting the positive at a limited big number, which is infinity. Next, limit. Now let's see what will happen if it approaches to 6 from the positive side. I can write down limit x approaches 6 plus 0 from the positive side, 7, 6 minus 6 plus 0. It's going to be 7. 6 minus 6 minus 0, right? Once we open parentheses, and we are getting 7 over, not the negative, 7 over 0, right? We are getting negative infinities. So we can see that limit x, when x approaches to 6 from the negative side, approaches to positive infinity, approaches from the positive side, from the right side, approaching to negative infinity. That means when left-sided limit doesn't equal to right-sided limit, that means the two-sided limit x approaches to 6, 7 over 6 minus x does not exist. Okay? Next example, we need to find, let me change color so it would be easier for you to find. Okay, next example, we need to find the limit. Okay, we are given f of x is equal 5 to power 1 over x. We need to find limit for f of x where x is approaching to 0 from negative side. Actually, when we say approaching, let's say to number 5 from the right side, I would use 5 plus 0 because it's going to be a little bit above 5. From the left side, I would put 5 minus 0, right? If it's approaching to negative 6, let's say, I would put negative 6 plus 0 from the right side. From the left side, negative 6 minus 0. But when it's approaching to the 0, the limit is approaching to 0 from the left side. We don't put 0 minus 0. We just do negative 0, or I put as a 0 from the right side, from the left side. Okay? So, therefore, we're approaching 0 from the negative side, from the left side. We need to find that limit. Then we need to find limit f of x approaching to 0 from the right side. And we need to find limit f of x approaching to 0 from both sides. All right, so limit 5 to power 1 over x approaches to, I can put negative 0, meaning direction from negative side. Either way notation, I'm using both notations, so you can get used to it. That is equal limit 5 to power 1 over negative 0, yes? All right? Can take this 0. Okay, 5 to power negative 0. This is gonna be equal, since we have negative fraction, right? That means it's negative fraction, it's gonna flip the fraction. 1 over 5 to power 1 over 0. So 1 over 0, it's in positive infinity, yes? It's gonna be positive infinity because it's positive, right? Coming from the positive side, 1 over positive 0, meaning from the right side, it's gonna be positive infinity. So, which means it's gonna be 1 over positive infinity, and it's gonna be equal 0. Now let's see limit 5 to power 1 over x approaching from positive 0. That means 5 to power 1 over positive 0, that is going to be 5. 1 over positive direction 0, it's going to be positive infinity. And 5 to power positive infinity, it's going to be positive infinity. And the answer is going to be positive infinity. Okay, Now, as we can see, the limit 5 1 over x, where x approaches to negative 0, does not equal to limit 1 over x, x approaches to positive 0. Hence, therefore, there is no, the limit x approaches to 0, 5 to power 1 over x does not exist. Okay? Let's look at this example. Limit x approaches to 0 from the positive side, x minus 1 over x cubed. Okay, this is going to be equal, plugging 0. Since it's positive, I don't have to write down positive, meaning from positive side, minus 1 over 0, so it's positive, right? To power 3. What do we get? 0 minus 1 over 0 to power 3 is 0. And 0 minus 1 over 0 is infinity, and the result is negative infinity. Okay, so next let's do limit x approaches to 0 from negative side, x minus 1 over x cubed is equal. So same 0 from the negative side, so 0 minus 0, we don't write, so okay, I can put 0 negative side, minus. Now here I'm going to put 0 from the negative side, because if I take to power 3, I'm going to get 0 minus 1 over 0 from the negative side, right? Because it's coming to negative. Then 0 from negative side to power 3 is still going to be 0 from negative side. So I can write down, like I mentioned, I can write down like this, and I can write down like this, because it's fraction. Here I have, and I don't have any term. Even if I would have any a minus, let's say a minus 0, it still wouldn't change anything. So yes, you can write down minus 0. Okay, and this minus doesn't mean 0 is negative, it just means direction negative. But so if it's coming from negative direction, therefore it's going to be 1 to minus 1 over 0 from negative side. It's going to be 1 over, it's going to be infinity from the negative side, yes? Because approaching, see, if this is my 0 and it's approaching from negative side, if you raise, no matter here, you raise to power 3, it's going to be still negative. So it's 1 over negative 0, it's going to be negative infinity, which means result is going to be positive, let me put here plus, positive infinity. And because there is no equals, both sides are not equal to each other, so it's diverging, which means there is no limit x approaching to 0 from positive side for x minus 1 over x cubed is not equal limit x approaching to 0 from negative side, x minus 1 over x cubed. Therefore, there is no limit. If left side limit doesn't have right side limit, then x approaching to 0, x minus x cubed does not exist. Okay, if this video is helpful, please let me know with the giving like, so I will know which way to develop topic, if I should do more topics or less, or which direction to develop videos in which topics. Okay, therefore with your like you will let me know the trend of the videos. Okay, thank you very much, and I'll see you at next video.